Have you ever experienced losing a loved one? Have you ever experienced having your entire house inundated by flood? And every single property you own and value are all covered with mud and submerged for days? Or worse, your house is washed away by the flow of water. This is a scenario that spares not a year the people of our country. Floodings that most of the time happen during a typhoon leave dozens or hundreds or even thousands of casualties annually, at the same time paralyzing our economic sector. Project FRAMER provides us a science-based decision support tool created by a research team from Mapua University that helps us know where and when the flood hazards would be in our environment. That is flood risk assessment for mitigation and effective response with an acronym FRAMER. The tools in the form of mathematical models and graphically expressed in the form of maps help our local government units know where the flood is for a given return period or intensity of rainfall. Coupled with the information on the vulnerability of an area due to the presence of elements including people and their ways of dealing with flooding problems makes our LGUs and their DRRM offices more intelligent in planning, responding, and rebounding. I am Engineer Fibor, a professor of the implementing agency Mapua University and project leader for FRAMER from May 1, 2018 to September 30, 2020. Funded by DOST PSURD, FRAMER project was made possible with our collaboration with DNR MGB, DOST Pagasa, and DPWH. This project, we made sure that the elevation used is of precise measurement, and LiDAR, which stands for light detection and ranging, which is the state-of-the-art in representing digital elevation models or DEM for floodplain areas, which has an accuracy of 20 cm in the vertical and 50 cm in the horizontal, were used. Floodplains with no available LiDAR data yet were surveyed by an airborne LiDAR using Plane in collaboration with the UP Dream Commercialization Services. The final DEM was used to model the river hydraulics that produces flood inundation map. Input flow hydrograph were generated from Pag-asa's rainfall intensity, duration, frequency, RIDF curves at different rainfall frequency or return periods, that is 5, 10, 25, 50, and 100-year return periods to see the different extents of flooding at different input rainfall. Vulnerability assessment was done by the team utilizing data available from the government agencies and the LGUs, together with the house-to-house survey to complete the data requirements for the assessment of vulnerability and further analyzed by analytical hierarchy process. The product of the mapping we created is applied in a pilot site in Infanta for the creation of the drainage master plan of the town.
So in drainage design, we know that it's very important to identify the elevation in the area. So at least we could decide and we could design how the water drainage will flow. So it gives us the ease to do the design. So basically with the aid of the 12D software, so where we incorporated the LiDAR data.
Input from the stakeholders are a very important aspect in the creation of the models. Hence, their involvement throughout the duration of the project were ensured and maintained until we have the products distributed to them. The flood hazard maps to be valid for distribution to the public were reviewed and approved by DOST Pag-asa and harmonized with the existing flood hazard maps of the DNR MGB, which also approved the harmonized maps for distribution. Map products were distributed to our collaborating local government units. They were also trained and taught how these maps were created and how these maps can be used.
This is Mayor Filipina Grace R. America. On behalf of my kababayan, the Infantahins, we would like to extend our sincere gratitude for the implementation of Project FRAMER here in Infanta in partnership with Mapua University and the project being funded by DOST PSURD. Maraming salamat po sa inyong lahat. Based from the project's flood risk maps and the study conducted for the drainage master plan of Infanta, we are now in the process of procuring our very first dredging machine upang pong aming ma-desert ang aming pong mga kailugan, particular ang Bantilan River, kung saan po ito po ang nagsisilbing natural outfall ng mga tubig galing sa baha at surface runoff galing po sa mga ulan dito po sa aming town proper. Ang iba pong technical recommendations ng project proponents will be seriously considered sa mga susunod pong funding implementation ng lokal na pamahalaan.
Flood hazard maps are often available, but flood hazard is different from flood risk. Flood risk looks also at the exposure, the vulnerability, and the adaptive capacity in watersheds. optimizing the search for areas that have to be prioritized by our local government units. Understanding the spatial distribution of flood risks at different rainfall intensities will enable our planners, our decision makers, our responders, and even we ourselves to be not just resilient but bolstered in dealing with nature's overwhelming magnitude, exacerbated by the extreme climates. The FRAMER project helps us understand and deal more efficiently with nature's floods to save our lives, our properties, and even the economy of our country. Our team in the Mapua University would like to help you negotiate our flooding concerns for a harmonious relationship with Mother Nature for a sustainable future for our next generation.